Welcome to our podcast, Aura-Genz, where we celebrate the voices that refuse to be silenced, the talents that demand to be heard, and the stories that inspire us all. Today, we invite our special guests to share their magic with the world, a beacon of creativity, a powerhouse of passion, and a soul destined to shine. As we embark on this journey together, let's unlock the depth of your talent, unravel the layers of your artistry, and ignite a spark that will illuminate the hearts and minds of our listeners. Get ready to showcase your brilliance, embrace your uniqueness, and let your talent speak volumes. This is your stage, your moment. Let the world witness the magic you're about to unleash. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. This is an honor and happy to be here and share my story and everything. So I'm Meagain, and I'm a singer-songwriter, vocalist. I'm a writer in general. I kind of started off writing poetry, and then that led me into writing songs. I also play the piano a little bit, and I do sound healing therapy as well. So I started off kind of doing that too before I got into like personal music making. And right now I'm pretty focused on the vocals side of things and learning to mix my vocals. And hopefully down the road I'll get more into the producer side of things. But yeah, that's like a little bit who I am as an artist. I love all things like nature, spirituality, um, anything to do with the earth. I'm have a big dream of like homesteading and having my own retreat center in the next like 5 to 10 years. And yeah, I couldn't imagine my life without music, without art in general, and without using my voice and singing. It to me like it is life, and I have really just over the past 5 to 6 years have really made it a mission of mine to like spread that joy to other people and really help people just like expand their consciousness and their normal, comfortable ways of thinking about life and themselves through my music and through my voice. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Shout out to you. So, uh, when you was saying a bit about the sound healing, was that part of your career or was that a activity that you engaged in?
So yeah, now it is a part of my career. I do it part-time at a spa currently. I just work out of the spa and I have sound baths there. I started off doing it more so as my own personal interest and using it for my own like healing and well-being. I have struggled with, I have depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed a couple years ago, actually, kind of always knew that it was something that was a part of my life, but I was never super big on labels or anything. And I do strongly believe that the body and the mind were designed to heal itself. But, there is a time and a place for traditional medicine and therapy, and I'm not dismissing that or like judging that at all. But personally, it just never sat right with me. So I was on like an antidepressant when I was younger for like a month. I was admitted to like an inpatient mental hospital for a few days, and that really woke me up to just this knowing that there was like another path for me, and there was a deeper reason to why I was experiencing what I was experiencing. And I think that's the case for everyone who struggles with mental illness, more than the average person. And yeah, I stumbled upon um, traditional like yoga and meditation, and those two things really changed my life at the time. Like, I honestly feel like those outlets like saved me in a way, and connecting back to God, source, the divine, whatever you want to call it. Or even if you don't believe in God, like I feel like we can all generally agree that there's a higher power that is kind of tied to everything and in everyone and everything. And those two outlets initially is what connected me to that energy. And it really saved me. I got in touch to a part of myself that I was always meant to, and through those endeavors and diving deeper into like my own spiritual practice, I discovered sound healing. And um I bought my first, like, I'm sure you've seen the little like steel Tibetan bowls. They're pretty popular, and like crystal singing bowls, but I bought my first one at this like metaphysical shop in Florida, when I was on vacation with my friend. I was like 15, and I had no idea like why I was being drawn to it. And I bought it, I took it back home, and I didn't really like touch it for a while. I kind of just like put it in the corner of my room, and then um a few years later, I just like picked it up one day and started playing it, and I just took off from there and kind of dived like headfirst into sound healing and all things like health and wellness. And I was primarily using it for my own healing, as I said. So, like, the first few years learning about it and researching and like gaining knowledge was a lot of like my own experience with it. And then later down the road, I started to take a more like career focused approach to it and offering it to other people, which has been an incredible journey, like in and of itself. But yeah, that's like a little bit of my background with like sound therapy.
Okay. So two things that I was curious on. And when you was talking about the bowl, you was talking about the sound healing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for what else you brought that put piqued my interest. I had to recall. Mm, let me see. Oh, oh, I know what it was. When it came to, when you brought up belief, you know, uh, you were saying between yoga and like, spirituality was bringing you, correct me if I'm wrong, it was bringing you like somewhere close to the understanding of like your belief.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to like, 'cause these words are like thrown around a lot, especially like nowadays. And there's a fine line with everything. I think like balance is really important with any kind of, belief or religion or school of thought or anything that you do in your life. Like, balance is really, really important, and it can help you from not like falling too far on one side or the other. And there's some people out there who are just like really on that like new age spirituality, like love and light thing, and they're totally dismissing like the other parts of life, and then there's people that are on the totally opposite spectrum. And um I can only really speak to my own personal experience. And I just feel like those meditation and the physical practice of yoga helped me to connect to that inner part of myself that we all have, and that connects us all to each other. And that's kind of what that is like what I'm trying to connect people to through my music, is that presence. I like to refer to it as like the I am presence, because it is essentially what makes us all tied to each other yet unique. And it's kind of like you could say that that's like the essence of the higher power or God, like in all of us. But like, you experience it when you have like a deep conversation with someone, or you watch the sunset or the sunrise, or you know you wake up in the morning and you hear the birds chirping and like the sun's coming in like just right through the window, or you hug a loved one, or like kiss your spouse or your partner or whatever. It's those moments that we like subconsciously feel that connection that we all have to each other. And like, I think even if people deny this, I believe that we're all looking for that underneath all of our pursuits. That's really what we're searching for, because to me that's like the essence of life, is the age old question of like why we're all here, how are we here.
Mm.
So yeah, it
So I'm
really.
curious for you. when it comes to like that answer, or are you still on that path of finding that answer of your life
Um,
purpose?
I that's a really good question. So this was something I actually struggled with a lot when I was first like getting into touch with my own spirituality and like what that meant for me and having my own personal relationship with God. And like I don't subscribe to any organized religion or anything. I did grow up in the Christian church, and so I had very close encounters with the Bible, with God. I have pretty close encounters with like Catholicism as well, which like Christianity and Catholicism are kind of like in the same branch, but I won't get into all that. But yeah,
Mm,
so I did grow up in the church, and there was a point where I completely like I was like atheist for a while. And then because I was mad at God, like, you know, that stereotypical story of like the kid who's forced to go to church their whole life, and then when they finally like grow up to have their own opinions, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And
mm,
I felt like, and I still feel like man-made religion is toxic. And that is why people have so much trauma with religion, is because of these man-made ideals and concepts. And half of the things that like churches preach about nowadays, like Jesus didn't even say, and it's totally missing the point of like his message. um and I still like I study the Bible here and there. I used to study it more heavily like about a couple years ago, but I still read it, and like it has some deep truths in it, and I think Jesus was like a really cool fucking dude. Excuse my language. I don't know
mm.
if you'll have to like blurt that out or anything, but
We
um
keep it free spirit.
okay. Yeah, he is amazing, and his teachings were like I feel like they went over a lot of people's heads, and what he was trying to convey, like he it missed a lot of people, and the like, you know, humans took a hold of that and they turned it into something that it wasn't. So I think man-made religions and all these like ideals that are like rooted in hate and like judgment, like that is not what God is. That like
Mm,
God is love. Like God is not hate. God is not judgment. God is not any of those things like that make you feel like you don't belong. Like yes, God can like, or that higher power can like, you know, punish in a way, but it's not even like punishment. It's more of like a a cause and effect kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Like, because all of our actions and words and like thoughts create a ripple effect, and that comes back to us. And sometimes it might not come back in the way that we like want it to. So yeah, I think I I don't prescribe to any organized religion, but I say that I'm just spiritual when people ask me, because I try to be careful with the wording, um
mm,
because I think people get these like instinctual visceral reactions when you say like, oh, I believe in God, or um even if you say like, I'm a Christian, I'm, you know, Hindu, whatever. But
mm,
I kind of pull from like couple different schools of thought, and really I think at the end of the day, your own personal relationship with God, with source, with the divine, with that higher power is the only thing that matters. Like all of the other stuff is just fluff. It's just, you know, it's not important. It's your own connection and your own understanding of like where you need to grow and the things that you need to heal from and overcome. um so yeah, I think that going back to what you asked, getting in touch with that part of myself allowed me to see like, for a while I thought that my mission and my purpose were the same thing. And this is something like, I used to be a health coach also for about a year, back in the day, and this is something like I would tell my clients, because I helped a lot of like empaths and highly sensitive people like process emotions and like work through all of that stuff. And like one of the big things that came up for a lot of people was like, how do I know what my purpose is on this earth? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like I'm just like lost, like floating in the wind, and I'm not contributing anything. And like going through my own experience of like diving into my own inner world and challenges, I realized that like my purpose is to literally exist. Like my purpose is to be a spirit in this human body and experience life on earth. That's it. And that's everyone's purpose on this earth. Now, my mission is different from my purpose. My mission is what my soul came here to do. It's what I was predestined to do. And it's what, I feel it's that little voice inside me that never shuts up. That's like, this is what, I'm reaching for. And I think people get those two things confused. And when I was going through those own thoughts with myself, and I was really beating myself up for a while. Like I feel like if I'm not focused on like what I'm meant to do here, then like I'm a failure, or I could be doing more, or I'm not worthy enough because I'm not helping people or doing what I love every second of the day. But when I went through all of that and processed for myself and realized and found out through my own discovery that like my purpose is to experience life. And even if, like let's say like God forbid, like hopefully this won't ever happen, but let's say like I were to get into like a super bad accident and like I would never be able to like walk again. Like let's say like skiing was like my passion and like my mission in life was to ski, and I got into an accident, I could never use my legs again and was paralyzed for the rest of my life. Like I would still be important, because like I'm still alive. I'm still experiencing life, and like your mission is extremely important, and it's needed for this world, and you need to play out your mission because like it's unique to you and you're the only one that can in the way that you can. But also it's important to know that like you're still allowed to like exist and be human, and you're allowed to
Mm.
change and like evolve is kind of what I'm trying to say. um but I would say that yes, like going like self-reflecting and those practices like really helped me to know what my mission is and to understand the distinction between like my purpose for being here and what I'm meant to do like while I'm here, if that makes sense.
Okay. And bringing this back to your creativity, I'm curious. Uh, we know you for a bit of being a musician, a bit of a spiritualist. You also mentioned that you're something about the earth. You love the earth.
Yeah, I'm a nature girly. I'm kind of like I like to get my hands in the dirt. I'm honestly kind of like a tomboy. I don't really like to use that like word. Like I'm just very like earthy, very I don't care if I get dirty. I'm not like high
Are you
maintenance.
burying something or are you trying to find treasure?
What'd you say?
I say, are you burying something or are you trying to find treasure?
Both maybe, I
Okay.
think. But
Okay.
yeah, I love all things with the earth. I have a deep connection with the earth. I love being outside and like hiking and gardening, and like I said, have goals to start my own homestead and basically live off the land and kind of be um distanced from like society a bit, not completely cut off, but yeah, I kind of want to create my own little oasis and open it up to other people as well that are in need of like help and healing. And I have a lot of plans for it, but kind of letting it all fall into place. And I think it will tie into my music as well. I don't know how yet, but I think that it will eventually.
Mm. I respect that. I can somewhat relate to that. I'm not much of a, I would say man belief of like, their perspective of what they believe in, what God and, message or teaching that they learn from that so-called being. But I do
Hmm.
believe that every being possibly, I mean, if you go from the perspective that we are the creation, from the perspective of that higher being, I mean, we're technically their children. So I guess each of
Right.
us have our own perspective how we would look at our parent, I guess.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, I do think there's, I mean, it's either that or like aliens actually exist and, they
Yeah,
created this planet.
or both, Like it's
uh,
both possibility.
right? So like who knows? But I don't have a guaranteed belief till I see it with my own eyes. But when it came
Yeah.
to like living off the land, I did connect it with that part. Lately I've been more connected with like more tribal things.
Mm,
Been like really calling to me. So like
yeah, I
especially
feel that.
seeing the corruption that's been growing lately, I'm like not really
Yeah.
connecting with that part of society. So I'm thinking like
Yeah.
starting, trying to like, I'm really motivated to live beyond myself, and I would like to
Hmm.
be surrounded by a community that supports that type of, mindset. So I've been
Yeah.
really connected with the whole tribal thing. So I do uh kind of relate to like, when you were saying like living off the land. That
Hmm.
was kind of like, speaking to me. But I hear you on that. Would that be
Oh,
like
that's really cool.
would that be for you like more of a self journey, or would you like to have like a community of your own that you build up, or how you
Um,
like to go about that?
yeah, I think I would like to have like ideally I would like to have like very close friends and family like living on the land with me. Um, but again, like I don't know exactly. I don't have the whole picture right now.
Mm.
I know that it is going to happen and it already has happened because it's in my head, but um I think that it is going to look like some kind of community uh outline, and I definitely think that eventually I want to open it up into like kind of a retreat center or somewhere that people can come to receive help or to receive guidance or to just come and like hang out and listen to good music and have like a good like farm fresh meal and just like meet people who genuinely like care and want to be there for them. Um and I've over the past like few summers I've helped like some local farmers like in my area. Last summer, I actually stayed on a farm for a couple weeks that has a lot of the same like similar ideals and structures going on like business wise and everything that I am interested in like for my land eventually. And then yeah, so I got to do that and that was like so rewarding. It was I learned a lot and I'm hoping to do more of that this summer. But yeah, I definitely think that it will turn into a like community thing because I mean, you can never have like enough hands when you own your own land and like are farming and stuff. Like you always need help.
And my last question to that for you, like, how would that would look for you legacy wise? Like, would that be something you like to pass down in your generation of family, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I that's like another reason why I want to do it because I want to create that generational wealth like for my kids and for even my mom and my immediate family now, but I want to be able to like pass it down like through generations and I want like my great grandkids to be like yeah my great grandmother started this farm and now we're like keeping it
Hmm.
going because I think like now more than ever especially with the way like the world's going like we need to learn how to be self-sufficient and we need to learn how to use the earth like the things that the earth has given us to live. And I think it's a shame that like the education system doesn't teach these things automatically. They should. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah,
I
I think
agree.
it's like imperative that people start learning how to be self-sufficient and how to have sovereignty over like themselves and their life and not rely so heavily on the government and on everything outside of you to like meet
Mm,
your needs, you know?
no, I agree. And I think when that brings us back to like, our purpose and everything, I think we truly, and from my perspective, I think we was meant to like, find our own path. But a lot of us, unfortunately, I would say are puppets. So the way how this society is built, we rely on a lot of the stuff that's, been set places. So even when we talk
Hmm.
about education, people have to approve what is going to be taught to them, what's important to teach to the kids. And I was even asking the
Yeah.
question, I was just like, like, you go to school for 12 years, you know, and then you're supposed to go to college, experience life. But how about the next generation? Like, when do you update us? Like, hey, the things
Right.
that we teach you, we no longer going to teach that to the next generation. We're going to teach them some whole nother shit. Like, how do we get
Yeah.
updated? Like,
Man, I don't mess, I honestly, I really don't like the education system. I don't think it's just, it's not designed to foster like one's own like creativity and like self identity. And I eventually, like when I have children, like I'm definitely going to homeschool them, or get them into some kind of like program like that. Um, and I have one of my best friends has six siblings, so there's seven of them all together, and they were all homeschooled, and she's 25, 26. Um, and yeah, they were all homeschooled, and she even kind of had to like raise some of her siblings because there was just like a lot going on in her life at that time, and you know, her mom's like popping out all these kids, so she
mm,
needed help. And like she's one of the smartest people that I know, and the she's so creative, like she's an artist as well. And like she really said that like that's something that she was glad that she got to experience in terms of the education side of it. So her mom kind of like did like an unschooling approach, if you've ever heard that term. But yeah, I think that that plays a really big role in like fostering creativity for like the youth and like the young
mm.
minds. And it's sad that like this system is set up the way it is. And you know, but I feel like I don't know how old you are, but like I feel like my generation, our generation, and like the couple generations before and after, like we're meant to like change the system. Like we are literally here to like create something totally brand new that like no one has ever seen before. And that's like what I'm trying to do through my music as well. I think
Mm,
like I I I I really think that music is, it just connects people on a different level than any other kind of art form, music and sound. And like, you know, you could live like in a whole different country on the other side of the world, speak a different language, have totally different beliefs, but you put on like an instrumental that sounds really good, and like you're both sitting there bopping your head to it, and it's like you understand that like at a soul level. And I think like all art and it is like that, but especially with music, there's something about it that is like, okay, this is one of the keys like to our future right here. And I am really trying to convey that through what I put out and my writing too. I'm really passionate about writing, and I write all my songs. And uh yeah, I think that the words and the voice has such a strong like power to it.
No, I agree. And to answer your question, I'm a 90s baby.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I'm like, I was born in 2000, but like I understand a lot of like the references and like things from the 90s. and the 2000s. So I'm like in that sweet spot where I kind of like, I can kind of jive with like both crowds. I'm technically like
Okay.
Gen Z, but like I feel like I like
Well,
resonate a lot with like millennials as well. So
well, you're definitely Gen Z. I would
yeah,
be like your older brother. So it starts in from I think it starts in like 97. So if that's true,
yeah.
that I would be like your older brother. But yeah, you definitely are Gen Z. Then I think it's what Gen Alpha after.
I think so. Yeah, I don't even know. And like the kids being born nowadays are just like crazy smart. Like going back to when I said like our generation, like your generation and my generation are kind of here to like we're here to basically right our parents' wrongs, to be frank. Not saying like our parents and the generations before like totally screwed things up. I mean, they kind of did in some ways, but like they were just doing what they were taught, Like they were just repeating like the cycle, and it's not even like really their fault at the end of the day because I don't think their generation was meant to be the ones to do that. I think that is like literally what we're here for, is to be like, no, I'm gonna stop this like trauma loop. I'm gonna stop this loop that we've always known, and we're gonna do this differently. And I think like our kids and like the generation after us is really like here to like solidify that and like truly live in that way and create like I don't know if you've like interacted with kids nowadays, but they're just like so smart, like out of this world smart. Like they're just like these little like adults in like kid bodies, and you're like, who are you?
Boss babies. Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I can definitely see that. And when it came to your other forms of art, my
hmm
last question before we hit the break, midway break. When it comes to your other forms of art, what other art do you engage in? Do you do some painting or acting?
Yeah, so like again, I love writing. Besides like writing songs and singing, I write a lot of poetry. I'm actually in the process of writing a book right now. It's been kind of like a few years process. Um, I just love writing in general. Like I have so many like used journals, and I'll really write anything. Like, I do love writing poetry, but like sometimes like I just write my thoughts or I just like journal about something that's bothering me. But writing has been like a huge part of my life since I was pretty young. And I do paint. I've been like collaging a lot with my friends, and I'm not so much like a drawer. I wish I could draw, but I'm not good at like freehand drawing. But I do like painting. I like to use like watercolor pencils as well and do watercolor stuff. Um, I do a lot of like outdoor activities. I'm pretty like physically active. Like I really love working out and doing yoga, like I said. I love physical activity. So like in the summer, I'm always outside, like doing something, riding a bike, like going hiking, swimming. Um, yeah, I read a lot too. I love a lot of like fiction, like kind of like fantasy books. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of like any other like hobbies and stuff I have. I like to cook a lot. My fiance and I like love like coming up with like new recipes and just like we'll just pick ingredients like randomly and be like, okay, what can we make with this? Let's like make a new meal. Um, and yeah, those are like some of the things that I do right now.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Oh, thank you.
Um, so you got a bit of outdoors activity. Do you have a favorite sport that
Favorite
you like playing?
sports. I'm not like a
Oh, you know.
sports person.
Oh,
Um, it's funny though, 'cause like all throughout high school and like even now, people like think I play sports 'cause of like my build. Like I just have like an athletic build. And people are like, "Do you play some type of sports?" Or like, I was going to the gym like pretty hard. I do more like home workouts now. And I have like weights and stuff at home and like an exercise bike, but I was going super hard the past couple years at the gym because I was trying to specifically like build muscle and I was doing it for my mental health. And this like couple times people came up to me and was like, "What are you like training for? Like I see you in here all the time. Like what are you training for?" And I was like, "I'm literally just here like for myself, for my own like sanity." Um, but yeah, I don't necessarily like to watch sports. I did play like soccer back in the day in school and basketball a little bit. I would play them for fun. I don't think that I'm not like really into like competitive like sports like that, so I don't think I'd ever like join a team, but I would definitely like play for fun for sure.
Okay. So what sports do you enjoy playing?
Anything with like the legs and feet, so like soccer. I loved kickball in elementary school, like during gym class. That was so fun. Volleyball is really fun. Um, Also swimming, like I love to swim. I was like thinking about joining like the swim team in high school as well, but it just never happened. I love
Mm,
water though, so like swimming's really fun for me. And yeah, basketball too, I really enjoy.
okay. So will we ever see you do like a marathon?
Oh no. I honestly running is not my thing. I like how cardio makes me feel, but I am not a long distance runner. Like I can sprint, but like no, I'm not a runner. I don't know how people just like run for fun. Like I can't do that. Now like weightlifting on the other hand, like I can see why people do that like for
Mm,
long periods of time, but like I don't know. I can't get with the running. I like to like hike and like go at my own pace, but like I'm usually never running.
okay. No, that's understandable. Okay. Coming to the halfway mark. We have some connections on our end uh, that you can decide if you like to connect with those type of people. We leave it up to you. But
Okay.
we have a couple of people that we would recommend that's in different fields that could be of great interest, I would say.
Okay.
Our first one we would like to shout out. You say you like fantasy. We so happen to have a connection that's not only an artist but also a writer. He write his own slash comic book slash like manga. He got his own story out called One Nation. So if you'd like to connect with an author that's within that field, we can make it happen. And also, we will
Yeah.
be giving their information after the show if you're
Okay.
interested.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Okay. Our second one, he's based in North Carolina. But shout out to Jeremy. He's not only an artist as well, but he's starting up a series called Tat Room Live, where people can perform live within a restaurant and within a small crowd. Um,
Hmm.
but if that's something that you would like to, get more information or your interest in, we can send you his socials.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
Okay, great. And a bonus one. Uh, so we recently started a new series uh, where we create soundtracks and have artists participate, creating a verse around the theme and challenge. And our first one is mixing horror with Valentine's. So if you're interested
Mm.
to hear more about the project, or you would just like to connect with the producer that produced the beats, we can make it happen. Shout out to Moth, the producer. But if you're interested in either or both, we will send you more information after the show.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in all of that. The last one sounds super cool. I feel like that would be like right up my alley.
Perfect. And I did say a bonus one, and I kind of make it seem like that was the last one, so that's my bad. But the actual last one, we would like to shout out Kingsman Squash Disaster. He is a folk artist,
Mm.
really got a unique voice, so I think you would like to connect with him. But he's recently started a podcast as well called the Sound Sandwich Podcast, with you get to sit down with another artist and really get in depth between another artist's perspective, if that's something that you'd be
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I really like the name of that that podcast too.
interested in.
That's
Yeah, he even
that's funny.
we had him on here a couple times. Yeah, he really a cool dude. I think you enjoy it. Um, okay. So I will send you those information after the show. But bringing this back to you, anybody can, listen into this podcast. Are there any particular people that you are, personally looking for or to network with? Is there artists?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Also, I didn't know, like, I am I supposed to be seeing your face right now? Because I'm just seeing like different clips on the screen. It's okay if
Oh,
not. I just,
no, that's
I,
the way out the podcast. I was like, instead
okay,
of just having y'all
okay.
just stare at like nothing, I thought just have.
Yeah,
And the people that
okay,
you
I
are
didn't
looking at
know.
are previous artists that came on this podcast.
Oh, cool,
So,
cool. Yeah,
so
I wasn't
the one
sure if
thing.
like I wasn't like I don't know if it just wasn't connecting right
Oh
or
no,
something. I just want to make sure.
oh no, that's fine. So, so the way how it works. So what you're looking at is right now is like different like promos. So usually what we was
Mm,
doing was we would create a promo before, using the artist's music as a way of form of promotion. And then, after everything that's complete, after the end of the show, we would have your promo just constantly
mm.
play in the background as a form of support.
Wow,
Um,
that's awesome. Wow. No, that's
um,
super cool. I love that.
thank you. So
Um,
that's what you are currently looking at. But, to
okay, cool.
give the floor back to you when it comes to, people that you're looking to next. What talents are you looking for?
I'm definitely looking to, well, first and foremost, I think I'm looking to connect with other artists who share my same like values and like the intention behind my art and my music that I put out. I think especially with with artists you work with closely, it's really important to share those same interests because I've worked with a handful of artists up to this point that didn't share the same interests, and it's just the whole process feels like pulling teeth kind of. And I think right now, and I have started to really connect with some artists recently that share the same like values that I do and share the same like message through their music. But that's really important to me. And then which like my message is like kind of what we were talking about, like connecting people back to that like innate presence within them, like their actual like true self and expanding people's like mind and consciousness beyond like what they're used to. And really just connecting people back to like what really truly matters in life. And like if a producer or someone like comes to me, and I used to feel bad about this, but like if another artist comes to me and like I kind of know what their music is about and I know like what their message is and like I don't connect with it, like I just like kindly tell them like, hey, I don't think like we're on the same page, and like I respect you and your craft, but I don't think like we'd be a good fit because I feel like a lot of people in the music industry, unfortunately, I feel like this is changing. And once you like find your people, like you start to find more people like that. But I've also met a lot of people and have encountered a lot of people that are doing it for like the numbers, and they don't really have a reason for like they don't have like a message behind what they're putting out. And I'm not saying that you always have to have this like elaborate message, but a lot of people are just kind of like they're I guess careless with like their words and like what they're instilling into people, because music specifically is like it is really powerful. Like it can literally be used to like control people, and you really need to be aware of like what you're putting into your songs and the message that you're giving to people, because like it's a very easy way to hook people in. So I think like first that's something that's really important to me, and I'm specifically looking for more producers to work with more closely. I have a producer that I work with in person, like in my hometown, but he actually just moved to Florida and opened his own studio, which is awesome. Shout out JD. He's incredible, but it's just been a little bit like difficult to like meet up with each other. He comes back here like every once in a while. still because he has like artists that he works with still here. And I'm planning on like going down there for a couple weeks and like seeing his new studio when it's all set up and like recording there. But I work with him, but I'm looking to expand in terms of someone I can actually like hopefully like meet up with in person and work with more closely. And I'm definitely looking for more female artists and vocalists and singers specifically,
Mm.
because I feel like I haven't connected with a lot of female artists in this field, and I mean, it is like male dominated. I think it is. Um, but yeah, that's something that I'm looking to work with another female artist. I don't have any songs with any other women, and I would love to like create a little project with another woman and like really like have that like feminine energy like shine through. That's something that I've definitely been wanting to do, and even just like yeah, just other artists who like share the same like values and like goals that I do in terms of like the message that I want to spread to people.
So just like when you were saying you found your calling, um, I actually give you a rundown of this platform. The way how we came down to creating this platform, two things inspired. I'm not sure if you remember Toonami.
What was it?
Toonami.
It sounds familiar, but
It's
I don't know.
it used to come on late night of Cartoon Network. The little robot that would show kids like
Oh yeah,
what's
yeah.
going to play next,
I
and
know what
then
you're talking about,
MTV,
yeah.
and then MTV. So what we
I
wanted to
yeah.
do was create. I'm not sure you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, I
So you
have.
know that library? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can think of our platform similar to that, where it's like instead of just having just knowledge, it has like, people around the creative, entrepreneur field, all
Okay.
showcasing their stories from artists, etc. So if you like to check
Huh.
out our previous work with other artists, we have promoted a few female artists. Some that I could recommend, um, Abby Woods. Uh, quick rundown of her. Her sound kind of remind me of the lead singer from Paramore. So
Oh, I
if
love
you're
that.
looking for that type of like sound, uh,
Mhm.
another female artist we promoted, uh, Battery Acid, uh,
I feel like I've heard of her. I've heard of them. That name sounds familiar.
Young Cat. Like,
Never heard of her.
have you like if you talk about like you heard her name before, or you also?
The battery acid artist. Is that
Mm,
what you said?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Battery
I
Acid.
think I've heard of them, yeah.
Okay. We also promote her. She's more of an alternative rock field, but she got a nice voice. I think you would like her.
Mhm.
If you're looking for a multi-talented uh female artist, uh, you can, we would like to shout Luna. I'm Luna Music. I believe that's her whole tag. But she's multi-talented. She's able to switch her tones from either like a 90s style,
Mhm.
or like 1960 type of style voice.
Oh,
She can
that's
really
really
carry
cool.
her vocals. So if you're looking for a more aggressive, I wouldn't necessarily say aggressive, but she do got a strong like voice on some like Essence. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Samaya, Samaya. She's the lead singer of her band. But I think you like her. Those are a couple that I can just recommend off the top of my head. But I can send you their interviews if you like to check them out.
Yeah, definitely. Please do. I would love to watch that. I kind of grew up like listening to well, it was like kind of split down the middle. My dad like introduced me to like musicians and artists like John Mayer and Red Hot Chili Peppers and like old school like rap too. And then I was like on the other spectrum. I listened to like sometimes I would listen to like hardcore like screamo like rock, and I love like alternative rock and anything indie like I've always been super interested in. And then I honestly didn't start getting into pop music until like a handful of years ago, honestly. But I feel like pop is kind of like it's an overarching like genre. Like I feel like there's so many things that could be like considered pop. Um,
Mm.
like when
Well,
people go ahead.
oh my bad, I didn't want to cut you off. But just to give a quick, reply to that statement. I thought pop music was just like popular,
You thought it was what?
but just popular. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I mean by like I don't know, like it's not even like really a genre per se. Like there is a certain sound, like you can obviously tell like a pop song between like a rock song. Um,
mm,
but like yeah, it's kind of like
or
that's I don't really know like when people ask me like what genre I am, like I don't really know what to say. I usually just say like I've had people tell me that it's kind of like an alternative pop, like lo-fi pop sound, even like
mm,
alternative at times. But yeah, I recently started getting into like traditional pop, traditional, and I did grow up listening to R&B, like Alicia Keys, my homegirl, love Alicia Keys, and yeah, so, but honestly, like I think there's kind of like a time and a place for all the different genres. I personally feel like I can vibe with any genre. The only genre I really don't like that much or connect with is just like mainstream country music. Um, but like I love like folky, like backwoods, like mountain music. I love that.
when it comes to, I can agree to that. Country is not my strong suit, nor is opera. I can't stand that shit
Hmm.
for the love.
Oh, it's beautiful. I can't sing like that. It is beautiful.
I feel when it comes, I could definitely see the beauty in it, especially when I see people being creative and mix it with other genres.
Hmm.
Uh, when it comes to like being there for like the performance set, I, well, it's been a long time since, but the first time I fell asleep multiple times. I tried. Uh, but I can understand that it could be a cheat for somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay. But when I was listening to your music, I, I didn't necessarily get a clear picture of a genre to place your music in. However, I did listen to your music out of your catalog. I did see some that I would say is potentially good for a soundtrack. I could
Okay,
definitely
cool.
see some of your music be used for some soundtracks for a scene, or I think you're really good at expressing emotions within your song.
Thank you. Yeah,
What makes
I
this
I
the
I want to get some sync placements. That's like I won't talk too much about it, but yeah, I would that's like one of my career endeavors and goals with my music is to get it onto movies and TV shows.
and if you could get your you know get your music for a soundtrack for a particular film, what would be your ideal film to have a soundtrack for?
Oh, that's a good question. So I've been thinking about this lately, and I don't know. I feel like I'd be open to hearing different like stories. Like if I had a couple like opportunities, like I'm not like set on something, but I feel like maybe some like alternative like indie film that might have some like dark themes in it even, and like I think something to do with like self-discovery or even like a drama I feel like my music would be really good in. But something like I could see it in a scene that's like really dramatic and really emotional and really just like one of those scenes that like even if you're not interested in the movie, it like makes you stop and like watch the scene and you're like, what's going on? Like I haven't been watching this whole time, but like this seems
Mm.
really intense. But in terms of like what the movie's about, I think I'm open to that.
So would we be talking live action or animated?
Either, honestly.
Mm.
I didn't even think about anime to be honest. Either or, really.
Okay, I can definitely see it. Um, coming to the full hour, how are we doing on time?
We're at 55 minutes.
Yeah, for you, how are we doing on time?
Oh, we're good, we're good.
How much time have we got left?
I mean, like, I'm not in a huge rush, honestly, so however much longer you need is cool.
Okay, appreciate it. So I have listened to your music for the past hour, and I have collected. There's 9 songs, me just being a first time listener, that stands out to me, and then there's 5 songs out of 20 uh, that's grown on me being a first time listener. So songs
Okay.
that stand out to me and just like really, for whatever reason, like caught my attention. And then the songs that's growing on me make me want to hit it on repeat. So that would be the main difference between the two. But none of the
Hmm.
songs would reappear on uh, each other. So I'm curious, which one would you like to know first? The songs that's growing on me or the
Um,
songs that stands out
let's do the songs that stand out to you first. I'm curious.
Songs that stand out. Okay. We're gonna do that once, so I can give you enough time to promote the song however you like. Like I said, I would just be the first time listener, so it would just be simple. For the first one, Deja Vu, what you have to say for this song?
Um, that that song, that was really fun to record. It's kind of like I wrote it at a point in my life where I was like exiting out of this really important, intense relationship that I had with a friend, and I just felt like no matter what I did, I couldn't get away from it, even though like I knew I wanted to and I knew it was time to. I just felt like I was like I would think that I was walking away and then I would end up in like the same place that I started. And I kind of wrote it to like touch on that and as like a way for me to like walk past that point, like walk past the point of like, okay, I'm actually moving in a different direction now.
I respect the second song that's standing out to me, Copacetic, what you have to say for this one?
Ooh. Okay, so that was on my first set of like my first project that I ever of songs that I ever put out called Metamorpho. Um, and that was actually one of my favorite songs on there, but it ironically didn't get as much I didn't get as much like feedback on it as like some of the other songs like I would say Old Ways Dead and Gone actually got the most like hype to be honest from people, but that one it was I was kind of like some of my songs like I'll get really angry about things like going on in the world and like I'll have to write about it. And that song was kind of like this play on feeling like kind of like what we were talking about before when there's some people that or like just some ideas that are almost like NPC like players or characters and feeling like you know
Mm-hmm.
I like you're like watching something or you're watching someone from the outside and you're like how do they not see that or how is no one like looking at this um and it was almost like this way to like tell other people like I feel that way too and like you're not alone and like one of the lyrics in it is It seems my soul is up for bid. I can't remember after that, but one of the lyrics was like, I think one of the verses was, it seems my soul is up for bid. And like, sometimes like you really feel that push and pull against like what you know is like right and true and morally true for you, and like what the world wants you to do, or like what your ego wants you to do. And, yeah, I was kind of like touching on that in that song.
Okay. And just real quick, I happened to check out on your iTunes. Do you have more than 20 songs out as a whole in your catalog? Or is there some
Um,
exclusive on certain platforms?
I think I do have more than 20 out, I believe, because my last project was um my album Arc. I don't know, I'd have to count them to be honest. I think I have just about 20 or a little bit over. But I have a bunch of unreleased stuff, and currently like working on a project idea that is slowly but surely forming. I've been sick for like it feels like months straight. So that's kind of put a damper on like singing and recording, unfortunately. But I'm kind of taking it as time to like rest and refuel, because I feel like when we get sick, it's like the body's way of saying like, hey, you need to like chill out. So yeah, I'm kind of just like saving my energy and trying to get better for the spring and the summer to really just like lock in and get going with it. But yeah, I'm hoping to have that project out by like the beginning of next year or the end of this year, depending on how things go. But yeah, I think I have about 20 or so.
Okay. Are there some exclusive on certain platforms?
No, I think that I think they're all out on like all the major
No.
platforms.
Okay. And when it comes to this project that you're working on, uh, time to promote it, what can we hear about it?
So, what I can say about it without giving away too much is basically I'm bringing a lot of my background of sound healing therapy into this project, and it's kind of, to say the least about it, I'm kind of gonna be bridging the gap between like what we know as traditional music to using sound and music as a tool for healing and for well-being, and connecting those two together. So there's going to be a lot of um like one song I'm going to have is literally just going to be like a meditation. Like it's going to be like a like 10-minute like meditation. And I don't know if it's gonna exactly be 10 minutes, but it's gonna be like a story that I'm telling almost. Which I think a lot of
Mm,
projects and albums are stories, but yeah, that's like what I can say about it right now.
okay. I would definitely say, when it comes to creativity, is wherever we put out there. So, you know, for what I experienced so far out of your catalog, if you had that same amount of creativity to it, I think it definitely could be entertaining. And plus, there's people that sleep through sound healing. So they,
Yeah, true.
you know, if they click on that playlist for like 12 hours, I think 10 minutes is, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bringing it back to your music, Flight, that would be the
hmm
third song that's standing out to me. I like the first half, but what do you have
hmm
to say for this song?
Oh, I love recording that song. I did it with one of my close friends. His rapper name is Cliff Klepto. He's so funny. Um, Yeah, he just like I like knew that I wanted a feature on it, and he was there in the studio when I was like recording the project. And I was like, if you don't like this, like you don't have to like be a feature on it or record anything, but just like let me know like if you like it. So like I went into the booth to like record my vocals, and then by the time I was done and I came out, he was just like writing down like a bunch of stuff, and then he just went in there and like he was just like spitting bars, and I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I guess this was a good fit. But yeah, that song was kind of the whole that whole project, all the songs are like pretty intense and emotional on there. And that's the last song on Metamorpho, and it was really like this it was kind of just like more of a lighthearted song that was more of like a uh kind of like an anthem to the fact that like yeah, I just laid out some really heavy stuff and connected you to some really like, not so pleasant things like within you, but like at the end of the day, like you got this and like you deserve to like take up space. So that's kind of like the idea behind that one.
Okay. Shout out to that. And damn, I just had a question. Give me a second. Oh, I know what I was gonna ask. Out of your catalog so far, there's two things I'm curious about. One, uh, what song out of your catalog, you feel that represent you, as an
Hmm.
artist now, and what song out of your catalog was the most challenging for you, to complete?
Oh, oh my gosh, that's such a hard question. Okay, so you said which one represents me the most, and then which one was the hardest to complete.
Yeah, the
Um,
first one, what represent you the most as an artist now, and what was the hardest one to complete?
okay, so I don't know if I can pick just one that represents me, but if I had to,
How about three?
um, that is so hard. I
Three?
think just like picking, it's hard. I think the Caverns Inn is one that represents me now as an artist. Also, Calm Before the Storm. Um, I'm trying to think if there's another one I can like really think of. Um, At My Fingers, which is on my latest album, Arc. I think it's the second or third track on there. Um, that also I feel like really represents like the sound I'm trying to bring moving forward. I think that whole album is kind of like it was just a really cathartic experience to create that. I would say the hardest song so far to complete. I don't really know that like I could say any of them
Or
have been
most challenging?
hard. Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, actually, I'm gonna say my latest release, Olive Juice, that I released last month, on Valentine's Day. Um, I actually mixed my vocals myself on that, and it's the first song that I put out where it was vocals mixed by me, and then I got it mastered by a producer that I'm close with. And then the beat is also from a producer that I've worked with closely. But that was the most challenging in terms of like actually mixing my vocals, and then you know there was like a few revisions, so I had some like demo versions of it that I thought were going to be the last one, and there was a point where I literally just scrapped the whole like vocal takes, and I was like, I'm doing this over again, like I don't like this. And I just like redid the whole thing. um and I listen to it now and I'm still like, this isn't like my best work, but also like I think it's still good, and I think it's important to just like put things out there and like learn as you grow, because that's the only way to learn is to like do it through experience. So yeah, I'd say that was the most challenging in terms of like mixing it and just like the anticipation of like people hearing something that I mixed myself.
No. Wonderful answer. Um, so to tag on to the olive juice, uh, how do you balance from being, what's the word? Would it be a professionalist? Is that? Is that what it is? Or was you just simply not connecting with it?
Do you mean in terms of like
When you were saying you was like scrapping the whole thing, was it your creativity
uh
wasn't there, or was it you being more professionalist? Uh,
a perfectionist? Yeah, I think it was I just didn't like how the mix was sounding on my voice. Like I think I didn't like the original takes is what it was.
okay.
So the mix just wasn't sounding right. So yeah, I definitely like it was more of just me like critiquing myself. Like the creativity was there like 100%, but yeah, it was more like I think I would be happier if I just like redid these takes and did like started from a fresh mix. But yeah, I think all in all it turned out really great. I got a lot of like good responses on it. But I feel like I still have a lot of like work to do and a lot of things to learn in terms of vocal mixing.
Okay. And my last question to this: do you do any behind the scenes?
Like on my songs, you mean?
Yeah, like you remember MTV? It would like showcase what it would have been like
Mm-hmm.
to be in that artist's shoes. You would get some of
Yeah.
the inside scoops of like different versions of the songs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do
Yeah.
anything similar to
So
that?
so all of my songs besides Olive Juice that I've put out, I've just done like the songwriting and obviously the singing. But moving forward, I would like to be more involved in at least like the vocal mixing. And I'm really working towards just mixing my own vocals at a professional level and then um, working with producers that I really trust in creating like custom beats and instrumentals and then eventually like producing for myself. But I think producing isn't as much of a priority for me right now just because I'm really focused on like my voice. But I do like I would love to take people into my process of songwriting. Um, and I think like that's an important part of it to me because like writing for me is really important and I think like it's such a like you can really convey a lot of things through songwriting and like you can tell when an artist wrote a song themselves versus like having a team. And there's nothing wrong with having a team. I think actually sometimes and a lot of times nowadays it's better to have a team helping you write a song. And I would love that one day. But I personally like, I don't know, that's something like that's part of the art for me is like writing the song and choosing the lyrics and choosing my words in a way that um, conveys a story and brings out an emotion in people.
So my next question to that would be, how do you look at your catalog? Do some people will look at their catalog as a library,
Hmm.
but I'm curious from your perspective, how do you look at your catalog?
Hmm. It's a good question. Let me think about that for a second. I kind of look at it right now as like a journey, honestly. Because I was at like very different points in my life, like releasing everything that I've released and just like writing individual songs. Like I'm in a certain state in each one. And I think it's like almost like an expression of like my own like journey. And also like it's kind of like I look at it almost as like a book, to be honest, and hope that people can like pull their own like growth and like lessons from it.
Okay. So, yeah, I think a behind the scenes would do wonders, especially for anybody that's interested at into you as an artist.
Yeah.
So, you showcasing, you writing, or even like some of the songs that don't come out, saving that.
Mhm.
But basically, this easily could be a merch. Just getting to see like like, oh, this song could have came out like this. Like we would never get to know,
Hmm.
all that unless you get to showcase, what it takes for
Yeah.
you, to be in your shoes as an artist. So I think that would definitely work wonders for you. And just even hearing about Ology. Funny enough, that's actually yep, that's actually one of the songs that stand out to me. So it's funny to hear that, he was actually scrapping and he was actually having a hard time,
Yeah. I
coming up with
changed
that
the
song.
melody actually for um the chorus. I changed it. It was different in like the original recording before I scrapped it, and then I changed it in the final version.
So I think the version that came out is pretty good. But I would definitely be curious to see what was the original version was like. Is it any much different? Did you change a bit of the wordplay or anything or
The lyrics are like about the same. It was just the melody and like the the pitch of my voice. I changed, like there's just something off about it that I wasn't really like vibing with in the original recording. And also like I know some artists like to just like when they're working on a song, like they have to like just do all the takes like right then and there, because like they won't like be feeling it, or like maybe they're just like not in the mood to record on it like the next day or something. But um sometimes I like to like go back and like do takes on a different day and like see if like, it feels different, or like some days like I'm even in a better like headspace than I was when I originally like recorded it. Um, but yeah, it wasn't like extremely different, but it did have like the chorus had like a little bit of a different melody.
okay. The next song that I have that stand out to me, The Cavern Inn, that was also another one that
Yeah.
stands out to me. I know that you brought up a little bit about it, but do you have anything else you'd like to add into it?
Um, I loved making that song. I it's really funny. I was in the studio with my producer, and he was like just showing me some beats, some old beats that he made, and he played this one. And I don't know if this is like a producer thing, but he had a screen like above his like computer screens that he was like mixing and engineering on, and he was just playing like those like drone like 360 view videos of like Italy and just like these like Europe like landscapes. I don't know
Mm,
if that's a thing with producers, but he just always will have it on like in the background. Um, and he like went to the bathroom and he was just like playing the beat for me, and there was these like oriental like instruments playing, and you can like hear them um if you listen. But I was like watching that like 360 view and listening to the beat, and I just came up with this like it was almost like it's kind of like a Mother Earth song. Like I created this imaginary place called the Caverns Inn, where you can go to connect to the earth and to like replenish your energy basically. That was like the concept behind it. Um and my friend Noah, who is like a beast at the guitar, like he is like crazy like guitar prodigy, all different kinds of guitar too. And he was there, and he was listening to it. Well, he actually came like after I recorded the song, like a couple weeks later, he came to the studio with me, and we were like playing it back because I was still working on um the project. And he had his electric guitar, and the guitar that you hear in there is him like playing, like it's like a live like recording of him at the studio. Um and
mm,
he just like he heard it once, like he heard the song once, and then he just like came up with like this like crazy like guitar to go with it. Um
mm.
and he a couple of my songs on that album, he added electric guitar too, which it just added such a nice touch, and it really like brought everything together. But I love that song, and it got a lot of really good feedback from people, and then I did a music video for it as well.
Okay. Uh, the speed run, I'm not sure how much time you have on you left.
I have about like 10, 15 more minutes.
The speed run to the rest of this list. Love with Me is another one that's standing out.
Mm.
The next song is it pronounced Kyra or Kira?
Uh, Kira.
Kira.
Yeah,
Um, that's another song that's standing out to me. Uh,
I love
River
that one
Bend.
too.
This one standing out to me. I actually believe out of the songs that's standing out to me, I think this one the most got the potential for a soundtrack.
Oh, I mixed my vocals on that one too. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, I love that one. It's so funny. I recorded that song when I was staying at that farm last summer. It was like it was like midnight and I was in this little like they had like a it was like a barn, but it was like kind of like updated and it had like a bunch of different like stories. And I had I just set up my recording stuff while I was there because I knew I was probably going to be like recording in my spare time. Um,
Mm,
while I was there and I set it up and yeah, I recorded that song in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia.
oh,
And so yeah, you could probably get that from like the title and everything. But yeah, that's another one that was like I was feeling very connected
yeah.
to like the earth and my surroundings during that time. And I think it came out like through that song.
I was definitely getting a journey. I think I was getting more
Yeah.
of a, you know how the people that be like sneaking on like those train tracks.
Yeah.
They always use that scene for them to get away from somewhere or some shit. I could definitely see it
Huh.
for like a soundtrack like that.
I could see
Um,
that too.
but now it makes sense when you was explaining the settings. Um, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
that song River Bend got the most potential for a soundtrack, especially if you're going for like a drama type vibe
Yeah.
or like
Oh, I
love
wasn't
story. I could
expecting
see
that.
that. I could see that. Calm Before the Storm, I believe is a very good one. And then the last one on the songs that's standing out to me, being a first time listener, Stronger. That would be the last
Oh, that's a cool one. Yeah.
and then the five that's growing on me. So the more I listen to it, it could probably change. Um, Pinocchio is the first one.
I forgot
Men
about that.
is the second one. At My Fingers is the third one. And then for the last two, I have, is it pronounced Gaia?
Yeah.
And Mon Cherry, correct.
Yeah. Mom Sherry. Yeah.
Those are the five that's growing on me. But listening to
Okay.
your music, I think you definitely got potential. I think your strongest asset is your voice. Um, so just listening to your music and hear your voice, I think you definitely got a huge potential to make wave within the music scene. So I'm definitely curious, to see how far you're gonna take.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. And I'm like, it's so cool to like see what songs people like connect with versus like which ones I connect with after like creating them. But yeah, I'm really excited for like my journey ahead and like I've just had so many like amazing experiences happen already and like I haven't really even been in this scene for that long like in the public eye. Like I've been making music for a while, but yeah, it's been super cool so far and I'm like really excited to see like what's gonna happen moving forward.
I agree. Definitely curious to see what female artists you decide to collab with, and then
Yeah, me
sound.
too.
Um,
Yeah,
but I think your future looking bright. So
thank
keep
you.
striving. No
Thank you
problem.
so much.
It's well deserved. Before you go, shout out all your platforms. Shout out anybody that you want to put on, and then drop a song out of your catalog you want the audience to tune into.
Okay. Well, again, I'm me again. It's all one word, no capitals, so it's the words me and again put together. You can find my music on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube Music, SoundCloud, literally anywhere you listen to music, it will probably be there. And some people I want to shout out. Definitely my producer, JD. He's from my hometown, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's been like such a goat throughout my whole process of releasing music. He's a wizard at mixing my vocals, and he's just awesome. I love him. Um, I definitely want to shout out, my he's kind of like my manager-ish. He's helped me with a couple shows. His name is Angelo, aka Ricky Dawkins. He's also awesome. He actually is the one that filmed my music video as well, because he went to film school and like does that on the side. He's helped with a lot of things, and we're planning on like planning some more live shows this summer. Um, Definitely shout out to Cliff Klepto again. He's an amazing rapper, and he's gonna be going places. And anyone else I feel like I want to shout out. Also the artist Freem. I don't know if you've heard of him, or anyone like listening or watching has heard of him. He's incredible. He's a Canadian artist, and I actually discovered him naturally through Instagram, and he we just like became like mutuals on Instagram, and he's an artist that I really look up to, and we actually have a song that we're cooking up together. I'm so excited about, and I he is definitely someone that I look to for advice in the music industry. He's bigger than me in terms of like his catalog, and his fan size and like listeners and everything. But he has a private like musician and artist group chat on Instagram that I recently like joined, and I've met some like really really great artists through there, and they're all like, most of them are based in Toronto, but yeah, he's like doing amazing things, and he actually has a project coming out the end of March. Again, his name is Freem, but yeah, he's incredible, and he's definitely helped to expand my view with like connecting to other artists. And shout out my fiance too, Ryan, for supporting me through all this, and like just being such a uh strong shoulder for me to lean on. He's always been like rooting for me, and he always tells me like, "Wow, I'm marrying a pop star." I'm like, "All right." Um yeah, but he's amazing. I love him. And a song of mine you could check out. Uh Let me think about it. I'm gonna have to go with Old Ways Dead and Gone. And this was one of the on my first project that I ever put out, but it's a good one. And I think that it can be like an anthem for you to use moving forward, to just let people know that like you're not going to be pushed around, and you're going to just be yourself. And I hope it inspires you to be yourself and to spread your light, and to just, go after what you want and not make excuses.
Okay. Shout out to that. And it was great to have you on here. Um,
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great.
no problem. I'm definitely looking forward to more music from you, and seeing how far your creativity depths to other artists as well.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
but it seems like you got a fresh start, a bright future, and you got a community behind that's rooting for you. So I'd like to
Yeah.
see how far that takes you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.